Have you ever had that idea? You know, that idea that you're like, this is gonna change the world, it's gonna make me rich, like, this is it. Or have you ever been watching TV and said, oh, that was my idea, the idea that was gonna change the world, that was gonna make me rich, and you didn't do anything about it? Well, in this episode, we're gonna teach you how to do something about it. What's up, everybody? My name is Akeem Shannon, founder and creator of Flipstik, and today we're talking about how to take your idea out of here and put it in reality. And I'm gonna tell you how I did it and how you can do, and how to do it on a budget, because let's be honest, we all ain't got 10, 20 grand out here to be blowing on a product. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're coming back and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and caress that subscribe button for us today. I definitely appreciate it. So, how to turn your idea into a real product. Well, first, let me tell you how I did it. There's a couple ways you can go about it. So, when I was creating Flipstik, I looked into companies here in the US. I said, hey, I want to find a company that can prototype, make me one of those cool 3D mock-ups. That's the route I'm going to go. However, when I started looking into it, these people wanted crazy money. We're talking 10, 20 grand. Manufacturers I talked to wanted $50,000, $100,000 contracts just to be able to move forward. And I mean, let's be honest, most of us don't have that kind of money to blow on our first product, especially when we're taking a big risk. So I did what I had heard another entrepreneur did. I went to China. And the reason a lot of people go to China is not just because it's cheap, but because it's accessible. You have thousands of companies, thousands of factories there that make all kinds of products, and they are literally waiting on you to call them with your idea so they can produce your product. And they'll do so at just incredibly low cost. It makes it easy for us to start businesses nowadays and to create products. So with Flipstik, the way I started was, after I came up with the idea, and if you don't know about it, make sure you check out the video on how I came up with the concept for Flipstik. But once I had my concept, I basically made a prototype using this, a piece of paper. I cut out the prototype just with cardstock paper. I put double-sided tape on it. I made a video and I sent it off to a couple manufacturers in China. So you may be asking, well, how do you find manufacturers in China? Great question. I used a site called Alibaba. There's a number of different sites out there, but Alibaba is like the Amazon of factories in China. So let me kind of show you how it works. All right, so this is Alibaba. So as you see here, there's all kinds of products on here, from socks to prefabricated buildings to scooters, all kinds of stuff that you can look for and buy wholesale and just sell on your own. However, these are all manufacturers, so they not only make the products you see here, but they'll make pretty much anything that you ask them to make. So what I did was I found companies that made household products that used reusable adhesives. Particularly, I looked for manufacturers that used command hooks. I was like, well, if they make command hooks, they can probably make a Flipstik. So say, for example, you have an idea for a product and you want to use Alibaba. I was talking to a good friend of mine today about an emergency button for when you're, it's late at night and you're walking home and you don't want to get mugged by somebody. And we were talking about how there's all these apps you can use, but who wants to open an app and unlock your phone, and who wants to hold the button on the iPhone? Like, that's unrealistic. But if you had a ring and you could press a button on your ring, that may be a good idea. So how would you find a manufacturer to create a product like that for you? Well, I would start on Alibaba and I would search for something along the lines of Bluetooth buttons. Because if they can make, a button that connects to your phone, they can probably make what you're looking for. So if I can spell Bluetooth button, so we'll go ahead and search that. And so we see here there's a ton of different Bluetooth buttons on here. There's people who have key rings. Here's one with a circle in it. It looks super high quality. There's all kinds of different form factors that we can see here. But let's even see, maybe somebody out there has already created a ring and is already doing exactly what we need. And then we just need the app on the other side. So Bluetooth button ring. I'm not seeing anything here under a Bluetooth button that's also a ring. So let's go back to our just regular Bluetooth button, people. And I like this one here. This one looks really cool. It looks like they have a nice finish to it. So what I would do is I would start by connecting with these people and I would send them an inquiry. Basically, you just tap this and you can get to work. You can tell them exactly what you need, what you're trying to do. And these people, more likely than not, considering that they've, can make a Bluetooth button that looks this nice, they almost certainly could make a ring for your new business that you're trying to create. And it's literally as simple as this, right? You find a manufacturer that does something similar to what you are trying to do, and then you say, hey, I want to create a product and I want you to help me. And that's what I did. So I'm not gonna say that it's all easy. You're gonna hit a couple roadblocks, but I don't want you to be discouraged. So number one is you gotta pay for these prototypes. While it's cheaper than going through, a US company or going through a prototyper here in the States, it's not completely free. We worked with about 3 different companies and we spent about $1,500 or so to get the first 100 Flipstiks, right? And that's pretty expensive, but it's not incredibly expensive. And if you watch my previous video about how I saved 100 grand in 4 years with just a high school degree, then you'll know you can most certainly save the money you need to make your products a reality. So, some of the roadblocks that we hit and you may run into too is when you reach out to some of these people, they're not going to give you what you deliver. But I encourage you, don't get discouraged. Yes, you may try 2 out of the 3 may not work, but the third one probably will work. And that's what happened to us. The first person we reached out to, they were just garbage. They didn't do anything to help us, never sent us anything. It just didn't work out. The second person sent us product, but it was so low quality, it broke so easily, it barely worked. It was just like a complete waste. But the third company, who is the company we still work with today, they sent us exactly what we needed. They gave us feedback on how we could make it better, what kind of materials we should be using for our plastics, how to make it cheaper. They were incredible. And once we paid for the mold, we were able to really just get started. So, I happen to have the $1,500 in the bank, but you could even do this with $0. And that's through a site like Kickstarter or Indiegogo. As you may know, I started on Kickstarter. So I know that it's an avenue for you to be able to raise funds for your business. And not only that, but you can do it without taking out any loans or equity or giving out your equity in your company to other people. So that's a big deal. Now, you may be asking, okay, well, Akeem, how did you even come up with the idea? How did you know that you could do this, essentially? And I'll tell you. So it was 2 things. One, my dad. I remember being a kid, my dad used to work in kind of the movie industry where he would make promotional products when movies came out and stuff. And so at this one time, there was some movie, and in the movie, this guy had a bomber jacket. And so the movie studio, when they were having all the press people come to watch the movie, they wanted to give out these jackets. So he had to make these jackets really inexpensive so that they could give these jackets away to people. And I remember he told me he basically took a picture from the jacket from the movie, went to Macy's or someplace, took a picture of some jackets there, and literally just sent these pictures off to this coat manufacturer in China and got the exact jacket from the movie made perfectly and got it done super cheap so they could give these away at this event. And I was like, man, if he could do that, then I could probably do the same thing with my piece of cardstock Flipstik prototype, right? I could just take a picture, take a video, and send it to him. But I had also heard a story about a very well-known business that did something very similar. And that was the guy who created GoPro. See, he was a surfer and he had gone on a surfing trip and he had no footage from his surfing trip. And he was like, man, there has to be a better way. And so when he got back home, he went to Best Buy, he bought a cheap little Sony camera, and then he went to a store, got some acrylic, and he just super glued the acrylic around the Sony camera. And he put it in a box, FedEx it off to China and said, hey, can you make me this, but make it waterproof and make it not look quite as ugly and smaller. And from there, GoPro was born. So I looked at it as, hey, if my dad could make a jacket and the GoPro guy could build $1 billion business, I for certain can do the same thing. So, today it's more accessible than ever for us to create our products and take it out of our head, put it on paper, and make it a reality. So I encourage you to go out, get your product made. There's really nothing stopping you at this point other than your imagination. What I would encourage you to do is check out my video about intellectual property, because there I'll show you how to protect your idea so when you send it off, it won't be copied over and over and over. I'll save you about 25 grand from hiring an attorney, teach you how to write your own patent, how to file your own trademarks, and do it for just a couple $100. So that's been the episode. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like, subscribe the video, leave a comment. Let me know what you liked in the video, what you didn't like in the video. I read all the comments. I reply to all the comments. So I can't wait for your feedback, and I'll check you in the next video. Peace.